Killing Floor 3 came out just a couple weeks ago, and you're probably wondering, is it worth the $40 price tag that is on the game right now? Well, I'm here to help you out. Killing Floor 1 came out back in 2009, and it still has an extremely positive rating to this day. And same thing with Killing Floor 2, came out in 2016, and is still an extremely positive rating. Now, Killing Floor 3 just came out a couple weeks ago, and the reviews are not looking so good. They are having a lot of backlash and a lot of issues. So let's go over some of those issues and some of that backlash to see if this game is the right game for you. So just a little bit of a spoiler, I do think this game is a pretty decent game, but I do understand why so many people are not enjoying the game and why so many people are hating on the game. It is completely understandable because it is not acting as a sequel to the previous game. It's more of acting in its own game with similar assets. Let's talk about the first good thing with the game is the graphics. The graphics are looking very good. Now, there is going to be some cons with the graphics later on, so please wait until that portion. But the graphics, if your PC is beefy, the game does look really good. And now I'm to my second pro, which this is a pro in my opinion, is the grindability and the replayability of the game. I do feel like there is a lot that you can grind out in the game that does take time. It will take a lot of time for you to be able to max out every character or to experience every passive, throwable, or gadget that is on every character. It will take time to actually reach that point to be able to experience all that. Now, I will say I have around 14 hours around the time of making this video, and I have around 300 available points, but I can only go up to level 14 because that's what level I am right now on this character. But it takes a lot of time to hit that level 30 on each and every single character. It is very grindful if you want to experience everything. Now, you can look at that as a good thing or a bad thing because not everyone wants to get home and grind for hours just to be able to experience every passive, throwable, or gadget in every single tree. Now for the third pro is playing with friends. I will say whenever I played this game with a few of my friends or even just joining the public lobbies and just talking to the people in the public lobbies, it was a lot of fun. I did enjoy actually talking to some of these people, and I did enjoy actually being able to play with my friend in this game. It is overall a fun game. Now let's go to the cons list, and trust me, there is a large cons list. Now, the first con that actually one of my friends experienced himself is the optimization. The optimization in this game is not great. My friend has around a 30 series graphics card. I think it's a 3070, and he was experiencing a lot of stutter and a lot of frame droppage, and he was running at all low settings. Now, it could be a one-off event, but I have seen multiple people report that they have optimization issues or that issues with their frame rate and stuttering and other issues that are related to that. Now let's talk about the second con, and that is the variety of content in the game. At the time of release, there's only 8 maps. There's about 30 weapons, but I will say that 30 weapons is a little over-exaggerated because a lot of the weapons kind of feel the same. Which 30 weapons doesn't sound bad, but if you compare it to Killing Floor 2, which came out back in 2016, yes, it has had quite a few years to have updates and have weapons added. That game is sitting right now at 100 weapons. 100. You're telling me in nearly a decade we couldn't add 50 weapons? At least half of what Killing Floor 2 has? The next con that I have is that I feel like this game is kind of built for casual players, but the difficulty is not built for casual players. I would put myself at a slightly above average gamer, especially when it came to FPSs. I played a lot of FPSs, a lot of Apex, a lot of Call of Duty, a lot of Valorant, a lot of CSGO. I've played a lot of FPSs. And when playing Killing Floor 3 by myself in a solo lobby, I felt like the easiest difficulty, which right now at the time of making this video is normal. I felt like it was actually pretty hard to stay alive. I feel like they wanted to build this game as a more casual person picking up the game. They wanted to build this game for someone that is getting off their 9 to 5. They've never played a Killing Floor, so they buy this game and they experience it. And I have a reason for that too. Just wait, I'm gonna bring up kind of the reasons why returning players are so upset with the game here in just a little bit, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, I feel like they wanted to cater to casual players, but at the same time they made the difficulty too hard for casual players. They just released in one of their patch notes, they said how much of a percentage has been completed in normal, hard, and Hell on Earth mode. So at the time of making this video, this is the average victory per difficulty. which right now normal is sitting at 83.7%, which that is realistic. Hard is at 4.1%, which to me sounds extremely low. And then Hell on Earth is sitting at 0.4%, which is understandable. Now, I feel like if they're going to build the game more towards casuals, and I don't feel like they built the game for returning Killing Floor 2 players. Like I said, I'll explain that in a minute. But I don't feel like they built the game for returning Killing Floor 2 players. So if you're going to build towards the casual audience or towards a new audience, I feel like you need to make the first difficulty or the lowest difficulty a little bit easier so people can actually experience the game without feeling forced to play with randoms. And even then, I've gone in a few games with randoms that I felt like I was reviving them every couple minutes. These are things that can be fixed. So if I were you, I would definitely look into their update list and see if they have had new content come out, because this is all based on the first 2 weeks of release. Now, they did already announce a few updates that are coming out in 2025 just to help bring more content to the game and more quality of life improvements, which some of the first ones that will be coming out is including the decoupling of perks and specialists. So you'll be able to mix and match specialists and perks, which will be a huge update, new weapons and mods, and quality life improvements and supposedly performance improvements, but obviously we'll have to see what happens with that. I will link the roadmap breakdown in the description. Go ahead and go to this website and they kind of break down exactly what's happening within the roadmap in 2025 and 2026. Hopefully we get a little bit more than what that roadmap is saying. The game is on life support right now, and they definitely need to bring out more content quicker to help kind of revive it in where it's at right now. Just in case you don't believe me that the game is kind of on life support right now, here's the two games, Killing Floor 2 and Killing Floor 3, right next to each other on SteamDB, and it shows that they have about the same player count, a game that is almost a decade old compared to a game that just got released a couple weeks ago. Now, obviously, this isn't including the Xbox players and the PlayStation players, but still, even if you're just including Steam, this should not be this close. Now I'm going to go over what a lot of the returning players are saying about this game and why they have so many issues with this game. I am not a returning player. I've played a little bit of Killing Floor 2, not a whole lot. Played it by myself a few times. You know, I haven't really experienced Killing Floor 2 with a group of people or experienced it on launch. So I consider myself a newer player, which is why Killing Floor 3 I think is an okay game. I do think overall it is fun to play with your friends. But I'm going to go through what a lot of the Killing Floor 2 OGs are saying, what's wrong with the game. And I think whenever I go through it, some of you new players might start to see where they're coming from. So a lot of the older players are complaining about the optimization of the game, which we've already went over earlier in the video. The optimization is bad. Unless you have a good PC, you're going to have issues with optimization. Even with, I have a 4080 in my PC right now, and I was still experiencing stutters at time. Whenever I was recording videos. People are upset about the battle pass and the cash store. Do I agree with the cash store being released on release? Not really. I feel like it's kind of a cash grab, you know, to get the hype of the game. Like, oh, I'm so hyped for this game, I'm going to buy some skins for it so I can look cool in the new lobbies. I feel like it's a cash grab at the end of the day, releasing a cash store with it. Battle pass is kind of the same way, but at least a battle pass, you don't feel forced to really, to buy it right away. You can sit on the battle pass and gain levels in the battle pass before you buy it. So you can kind of see if it's like the game's going to be something you want to continue playing and you want to actually work towards the battle pass and complete. So one thing that they're upset about is the lack of class options. So in Killing Floor 2, there was 3 other classes. There was SWAT, Gunslinger, and Support. So people are upset about those classes being gone, which doesn't sound like a big deal to a new player. But with those classes did come a lot of weapons. So every class does have a set amount of weapons. Well, those 3 classes being gone did affect how many weapons are in the game. And it also affected the variety of your playstyle. What made Killing Floor 2 really good was the fact that you could use whatever gun you wanted. You could use whatever class you wanted. You could have the wildest variety. Your character could look the craziest in the lobby. There was so much variety in the game. It felt like a sandbox zombie game. This game does not. It doesn't feel like a sandbox zombie game. It feels more secluded. It feels more cut down and kind of dry compared to Killing Floor 2. There isn't as much in the game. There is significantly less guns. Killing Floor 2 had nearly 100 guns, and in Killing Floor 3 we are sitting at 30 weapons as of release. At the time of release, this game is sitting at around 8 maps, with Killing Floor 2 sitting at 12 official maps and literally over 1,000 map entries for custom maps. So yeah, I understand. Killing Floor 2 players are really upset with how the way Killing Floor 3 turned out. It took them a decade and they got half of the content and bad optimization right out the gate. Killing Floor 3 at the time of recording is sitting at 54% on Steam. And I'm going to be 100% honest, I'm surprised it's even that high. I feel like a lot of players are hoping that this is another kind of Killing Floor 2 situation where they continuously update the game and continuously bring out content that makes the game better and brings more variety to the game. And I do believe that they will do that. So I do have faith in the game in the future. But as of right now, my rating is going to be lower than it will be in the future. And in the future, I will make a new video and I will make a secondary opinion on it when they release more content in the game. There just isn't enough content to really make my final opinion. So that's my overall thoughts on the game. Now, if I had to rate the game between a 1 and a 10, I'd rate it a 4 out of 10. That is just my opinion. It needs more content. It needs more variety. It needs to be more like Killing Floor 2 was. I think having people wait a decade for a predecessor to Killing Floor 2 and then it to turn out the way it did was just a really bad move by the Killing Floor team. At the end of the day, I can't justify the $40 price tag on this game either. I honestly think as it sits right now, it's sitting at like a $20 to $25 game. But I do think Killing Floor 3 will be great in the future. I think there will be a lot of updates that fix the issues and brings back what the Killing Floor community wants. And I do have a lot of faith in the game. Like I said before, the graphics are beautiful. There's a lot of potential for the game. They just have to follow through with what they did in the previous Killing Floors. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Tell me if I got anything wrong. You know, I'm kind of new to the Killing Floor series. I'm also new to this whole rating series I'm gonna start, and I want to know your guys' opinion. Is there something I could do better? Do you think I should have done more research? You know, is there something I got wrong? Let me know. I will love to reply to everything. I will try to keep everything as accurate as possible in the future, and I hope you guys have a good day.